Hello everybody. I'm trying a different setup here, so give me a second. That'll work. Awesome. Hello everybody, welcome. My name is Patrick and I am your friendly neighborhood shaman. And welcome to a Monday mini medicine card readings. Hi, Anna. Yay. Okay, let me grab paper and a pencil. All right. So if you are new here, the way this works is the first 6 people to say yes in the comments get a 1 card, medicine card reading. And if you're coming late and aren't one of the first 6, or if you're watching this on repeat, no worries. All you need to do is choose a number between 1 and 6 and listen to that particular card. And I promise that the universe has this beautiful way of weaving messages together so no one gets left behind. So, and this video of course is free, and my only request is that you please share it. I'm trying to increase my audience, and that would help a lot. So, and hopefully my comments are working. Hi Amaral, I see you popped in. Yay, my comments are working. Last week I did an hour worth of 1 card because, well, Mercury retrograde for one thing. All right, Amaral, I got you on the list. But my comments for some reason weren't working, and so people were commenting. Apparently, I still haven't been able to get into the place where I can see what people said. But so, fortunately, tonight it looks like the comments are working, so we have at least 2 cards. And if you get something from tonight and you wish to reciprocate in more than just sharing the video, etc., I have my Venmo and my PayPal links pinned to the top of the comments for anything you wish to do to support your friendly neighborhood shaman. And this is my day job, so every little bit helps me be able to do the work I need to do in order to support you, my community. So, hi, Kit Kat. I just fed Kira. She finished her food, and now she's trying to pretend that I never fed her. Hi, Brittany. Got you down. So, I'm a little low-key tonight, comparatively. I had kind of a rough day today, so I'm doing a bit of healing myself. All right, so, well, we've got 3. Let's go ahead and start and see who else might show up tonight. So, Anna, you are first, card number 1. Okay. Whoa. Sorry, equipment failure. Let's see if I can. Oh, come on. I need to do. There we go. Okay. Oops. There we go. All right. Thank you for your patience with me. Okay, so card number 1 for Anna is mountain lion. And you know what's really interesting? When I pulled it out of the deck, it was reversed. And then all this other stuff happened. Anyway, I picked it up and it came up. So I don't know what you did in the last 10 seconds or so, but there's definite mountain lion energy going on for you. And mountain lion is about leadership. You know, it's a good leader follows their heart, right? Your heart is your authority. The mountain lion is an apex predator. They don't ask permission. They don't have to justify themselves. They don't have to make excuses. Their heart is their authority. And it's kind of like, oh, thank you, Emerald. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm just trying to be, transparent and authentic. So if I'm a little bit lackluster tonight, and thank you for the hugs and the healing. So as an apex predator, if nature worked in the pyramid of power the way our society is supposed to work, she would be at the top and she could just ravage everything. But it's the circle of life, correct? She's at the top of the circle, apex predator, so she doesn't have anyone directly above her preying on her, but she has her heart. That is her authority that keeps her. By following her heart tells her to take just the sick or the weak or the elderly of the herd. And then, so by following her heart and taking care of herself, she actually makes the herd faster, healthier, and increases the well-being of the herd just by listening to her own heart. So it's like, it's kind of like what I just realized. It's like I have these moments sometimes that I call my golden lasso moments, like Wonder Woman's golden lasso of truth, right? So like when she puts that lasso on someone, they have to speak the truth. And a lot of times what that does is it makes them face the truth to see to see beyond whatever illusions, etc., that they had erected in their own mind, to be able to see through that, to see to their true selves, and so she assists in redemption, right? And so that heart is kind of like that lasso of truth. And there's this comic, it's a Justice League comic, and in it, Wonder Woman is in Themyscira, and she takes the lasso and puts it around her own neck to double check herself to make sure that she was acting in her integrity. And so it's like, when you're working from your heart, you can do no harm. If you're working from your heart, if you're doing what your heart is telling you, guiding you to do, it doesn't mean that others might not take it as harmful as, oh, look what you did to me or whatever. But if you've got that lasso of truth, your heart is your lasso of truth, and it tells you that what the truth is, trust it, and speak your heart, right? It's like that, making her, you know, the mountain lion is very territorial. They have strong boundaries, and they're very solitary. And so you can have like a number of different mountain lions in the same area. Hi, Lily. Nope, I'll put you down. Yay. And so you can have a number of cats in one area, because they, and I don't know how much of this is pertinent to the message, but they always kind of patrol the outskirts of their territory. And so you can have a cat here, and you can have a cat here, where their territories only overlap in a couple of spaces. But it's about having that space and speaking, expressing yourself, right? The show of the teeth, the hissing, all of that is not to invoke violence. It's a language to avoid violence, to avoid conflict. It's like, this is what's behind this line. You cross this line, this is what's waiting for you. Just want to let you know, just FYI, if you step over that line, this is what's waiting for you. And so it's a way to communicate where your boundaries are, staying in your power, and not putting up with any intrusions in that territory. So your heart, because your heart, again, is what connects you to Creator. So anything coming through your heart is automatically from Source. And your heart is also what connects you to all of humanity, every person on the planet. And so if your heart tells you to do something, your heart has already connected to Creator. Your heart has already done all the calculations for all the people in the world and is saying, yes, this is for the highest good of everybody. And because not everyone has that strong lasso of truth, you may have to defend it. You may have to, not in an aggressive way, but just in that like, baring the teeth, saying, nope. I said no, we can't go there. We're not going there. I'm not talking about this. You know, whatever it is. And I I heard someplace that if you really want to end an argument quickly or a fight, to hiss, because we have no natural response to that. It's not something in human society. So if you hiss, it's going to like totally shock whoever you're confronting, and give you either the chance to walk away or to, like, you know, make your statement or whatever. But stand in your authority. There is no one in the world, there is no one in the universe who knows better than you what is good for you. So listen to your heart, and don't be afraid to speak your heart. Okay? Stand up for yourself. And that's something in our society too. It's like because we're supposed to be nice. I grew up in Minnesota where, Minnesota nice is a thing where you make sure everything looks pleasant and you're pleasant to everyone, but then you don't know who's talking behind your back, like after you leave or whatever. And so it's like this surface niceness. And that's kind of what society expects us to be, nice. And if you raise your voice, if you stand up for yourself. Well, I mean, look at all the women recently, even the past few years, especially in the government, etc. It's like every time a woman stands up for herself or raises her voice, she's called irrational or, what was that, nasty, and still she persisted, right? Persist. You are the authority in your life. You are the only one who will be with you from birth until death, right? This is your world, and you have the authority to decide who lives and who doesn't in your world. So I hope that helps. All right, card number 2 for Emerald. Okay. I knew Dragonfly was going to come up today. Dragonfly came to me today. I got a message from Dragonfly, and it's like, I know Dragonfly is going to come up tonight. So Dragonfly in reverse, and Dragonfly is about illusion. And I've told the story before. I'll tell a real quick version of it in case people haven't heard it before. But once upon a time, there was this great and mighty dragon who, like most dragons, was very arrogant and loved to boast about his prowess and his abilities and his accomplishments. And one day, Coyote got so tired of hearing the bragging that he decided that someone needed to go and take this dragon down a notch. And knowing of no one more, oh, you're so welcome. I appreciate you too, Anna. Thank you. I hope that made sense. So this great dragon bragging, and Coyote knew of no one more qualified than himself to take this dragon down a couple notches. So Coyote goes up to this great mighty dragon and says, I bet you're not powerful enough to make yourself that big. The dragon laughed in his face and promptly turned himself into a dragonfly. But then the dragon got caught in his own illusion and thought he was just this fragile little body, that he was powerless. He still had access to all his power and all his magic, but he couldn't see it. He got caught in his own illusion. And so when Dragonfly comes up, especially in reverse, it's a reminder, number one, of not getting caught in your own illusion, not getting caught in the appearances of things, right? Knowing the magic behind everything, the magic behind you. You may appear to be this fragile human body, but you have all of the universe behind you. You have all the power of the universe behind you. And so because of that, you can walk in this world knowing that you're in the world, not of the world, right? And that the small fragile body thing becomes the interface with which you can communicate to other people, and you can, knowing that you're actually the dragon and not just the dragonfly, you can channel all that wisdom and power and energy from that dragon source into the world without freaking people out. So if you showed up in all of your dragon glory, people would like run from the hills. They wouldn't even be able to listen to your words because they would be so afraid or freaked out or in awe, you know. So then, like I said earlier today, Dragonfly came to me with a message, and the like the story I just told between what's illusory and real, there's also, Dragonfly is kind of a gatekeeper. So he's that gatekeeper between what is real and what's not real. The real, the truth, and the illusion. And he's also known as the gatekeeper between the physical realm and the fairy realm. And the message they got today was not only is he the guardian between those separate realms, but he is also the guardian between yourself, your present self, and your dream self. And so it's bringing in this, that's cool. The words that came into my head was remembrance of what will be. It's like, even though you seem, you know, even on days like I'm having an off day today, and I'm like, I still know deep down that I am not this. I am not this emotional puddle, this frail human being, that beyond all of that illusion, I'm still in touch with my eternal heart, eternal soul. But with Dragonfly being kind of the guardian between those worlds, what is and what can be, I was just telling someone today about one of the classes I teach in my year-long course is about your true self. And your true self is not your higher self, right? Your higher self is kind of you as spirit, right? It's kind of the spirit part of you. Your true self is like if all of your potential, all of your strengths, etc., were realized. That's your true self. So in a way, it's kind of that template that you're born with all your potential and all of these different things that may get activated or might not. But your true self, someplace in the quantum universe exists that person, that true self of who you can be. And so Dragonfly is saying to remember that true self, to like when you feel like you're not doing your best, or you know the world's against you, or whatever the feelings might be, reach into the future, reach to your true self, your full potential, and ask that true self for help. And one of the things that I do in that class is we do a shamanic journey to meet our true self, and then we merge with our true selves. And then I have everybody stay in the journey, but open their eyes and look around the room. And it is so interesting to see how different the room looks when someone is looking through the eyes of their true self. And also, it's like looking around at the other true selves in the room and realizing that everyone is here in their full potential, and there's still space for everybody. That you're taking up space doesn't take space away from someone else. So I think that's the message here, is to like not get bogged down in the appearances or in the, oh my God, I can't do it, whatever it is, and reach reach out for that true self. Oh, that's interesting. You've been focusing on embodying your quantum self. That is exactly what I'm talking about, see? You can't make this stuff up. So you're on the right track. I just got chills. So yeah, just keep going for that quantum self. That self that is all potential realized. And you can practice merging, you know. I discourage people, well, one of the things about shamanism is a lot of it is merging, like you're speaking to something or someone in spirit, and part of the wisdom comes, sometimes it's appropriate to ask to merge with them, to become one with them. Like another exercise I do with people is to do the shamanic journey and then to merge with one of the elements like water, fire. And that was one of the most profound journeys I ever did when I did it the first time in a class I was taking. And just experiencing myself as water. I pictured myself as part of Puget Sound. And so I was in the water and I was just floating and there was no resistance. There were no boundaries. There were no limits. And it was such an easy, calm, beautiful existence. But in those cases, I always emphasize when you come back to say detach, detach, detach. Because you don't want to be walking down the street still merged with water and, you know, not see the car coming because you're in a whole different, but your true self is you. So merging with your true self is basically merging with that higher aspect of yourself. So try that out and see what that looks like, you know. I know, I love the synchronicities. It's crazy. You try to tell someone about all the synchronicities, they wouldn't believe you. All right, Brittany, card number 3. I was just thinking about you the other day, Brittany. I hope you're doing well. That's weird. They told me, normally I just take the top card. They told me to pull the bottom card for you. And it makes sense because it's salmon. So it's like going upriver, not downriver. That's really interesting. Oh, good. I'm glad you're well. So you are doing well. Salmon is about returning home, or in other words, returning to your pure, innocent self. You know, returning to your origins, to who you were before you started having that identity kind of taught out of you by society and authority figures and stuff like that. But there's definitely been, just like salmon going, you know, against the current, the things you do, you might feel judgments and be self-conscious because, you know, other people looking at you are like, where the hell is she going? What's she doing? She's going backwards, right? And the thing is that, like I was talking earlier about your heart being your authority, your heart gives you eyes. your path is not a normal one. Not that there's any such thing as a normal path, right? But your path is meant to stand out from the rest. And, you know, by just doing your thing, following your heart that's telling you to swim upstream, it's like you have different eyes. You have a different vision. You can trust your heart to show you the paths, because salmon doesn't spend its entire swim home just fighting the current like we think it does. They rest a lot, and they'll sit in calm water for a while to regain their strength and whatever, and then they might go back into the mainstream, or like most of what they do is follow the ebbs and the whirlpools and that kind of thing. The parts of the river that kind of flow the opposite direction. So they're not just fighting the resistance. They are actually seeing patterns, seeing pathways that others don't, and then following those, like following spirit. It's like if you know where to look, you see those pathways going the opposite direction of the river. It's like you're floating, you're being carried. Spirit is carrying you. And the same with the like jumping over the waterfalls, right? They don't just jump from their own energy. There are whirlpools at the base of every waterfall, and they hit those whirlpools, and they use them like a slingshot to jump up and over. And so again, it's like spirit giving you that boost up to get where you're going. And the thing about salmon, when salmon comes up, it's not a question of if you get there. It's like you are guaranteed to arrive. And, you know, if you're guaranteed to get through whatever you're going through at any given time, it becomes more of a sense of adventure rather than dread. Like, oh crap, there's another bend in the river. What new hell awaits me there, right? It's like, no, it's like, okay, there's another bend in the river. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, because the universe has my back, whatever it is a step closer to home. And so it becomes an adventure to see how you're going to come through it. And I don't, you know, and when I say these things, I'm not expecting like something like, you know, you get fired or you get some bad news and you're like, woohoo! I'm not saying that, but at least on some level, it's like, it might shock you at first, but then it's like this, like, okay, so what now? And bringing it back to the present, going moment by moment, inch by inch back up the river, and realizing that you will be a whole different person on the other side of whatever the challenge is. So that every challenge actually does serve that purpose as getting you closer to home, stronger. And trust your wisdom. It's time to trust your guidance. When your guides tell you something, or you get a vision or something like that, if you don't already, I would recommend keeping a journal, writing those things down, number one. And number two, to have at least a suspension of disbelief. Like they talk about that when you go to a movie, like you go into a sci-fi movie, and you know, in that 2-hour period, you kind of suspend your disbelief. It's like this world is real for the moment. You don't go, oh well, but that doesn't exist and that doesn't exist, and that's crazy, right? You get pulled into that world. So you suspend your disbelief of this world and the physics therein. And so, like, when you get guidance, when you get intuitive hits or whatever, if you can just at least momentarily to do that suspension of disbelief and take it like, and just feel like, what if this is true? And build up, you know, and do that. Like, what if this is true? You don't even have to say, this is true. It's like, use that curiosity, you know, ooh, what if that's true? And then test it, try it out, follow whatever the guidance is. And if it works out, it's like, okay, you know, you just built up your faith in yourself and your heart, and just keep going and keep going and keep going, right? And that's the other thing that salmon brings, is a sense of enthusiasm, that adventure, right? I talk about how a couple of years ago I was down at the Cedar River and I was sitting on a rock right on the edge of the water, and there was a big old salmon just like maybe 5-6 feet away from me. And after I sat down, it actually came over and just sat under my rock. And it was like a little puppy dog or something. And so I was kind of talking to it, kind of tuning in. And the thing that was just palpable was this fish's enthusiasm. He was so excited to get home. It was like he was buzzing with excitement. He had to let himself rest a little bit before going back into the current, but he was so enthusiastic. And it was that enthusiasm, that gumption, that carried him forward, right? Just like that curiosity that, you know, like in Star Trek, they talk about, you know, to boldly go where no one has gone before. And it's that curiosity to discover the unknown that draws us forward into the mystery. And every time we find something new, it opens the door to many more questions than the answers we've got. In fact, one guy, Matthias Stefano, I heard him say one time that we're not actually looking for the answers, because the answers are like perfection, right? Perfection is death. After perfection, there's no growth. And the answers, if you have all the answers, there's no growth, there's no place to go. So what we're actually looking for is the next question, because it's that question that calls us forward. Excuse me. And so it's like a question. And so if you approach your life, like I mentioned earlier with Dragonfly, realizing that you have all the power of spirit behind you, and approaching life as if that were true, right? You might be surprised at how the synchronicities really come into play, and things start to flow a little bit easier. But trust your heart. I've said this to you before, but you are meant for great things. You are very powerful. You are very wise beyond your years. And like I just said, your life is meant to stand out. You are meant to be seen. So trust your heart. And that doesn't mean you have to be on the corner somewhere going, look at me, right? Just go about your daily life. And just by being who you are, you will literally change the world. Okay? So I hope that is helpful. And be good to yourself. Trust in the universe that trusts in you. And know, just like salmon, whatever they have to face, they know that they can get through. They are greater. You are greater than anything you can fear. You are greater than any challenge that will ever arise. Oh, you're so welcome, Brittany. I appreciate you. And that was the other thing with, like I said, your wise behind your year is salmon. In Celtic mythology, salmon is the oldest and the wisest of animals. So you can take that however you want to take it, but you are very wise and very powerful, very magical. And I appreciate knowing you. So, all right, card number 4 for Lily. That might be all we do tonight. Last couple of weeks have been kind of slow. Well, like I said last week, my comments weren't working, so I didn't know there was anyone there except one person. So I talked about one card for an hour, which was kind of fun. But hi, Kit Kat. I'll feed you when we're done, okay? I'll feed you when we're done. I promise. I promise. I know. I know. All right. So, ooh. I think so. I think so. It was Otter. Missy. Got my phone up a little bit higher so you can't really quite see her. You can kind of see her back, but her tail gets in the way. Meow, meow. I will get you some food in a minute, okay? Let me finish this card and then I'll feed you. Okay? I love you. So Lily, you got horse. A horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course. That is, of course, unless the horse is the famous Mr. Ed. Sorry, I just had to get that off my chest. So, prepare for expansion. Horse is about freedom. Horse is about expansion. You know, I sometimes think of horse as the original internet system, right? Because it was horse that helped us to open up trade routes so that we could go further and further and kind of expand, you know, go from these isolated little villages to bigger and bigger and bigger systems of trade routes and such. And so things are definitely going to, if they haven't already started, to expand for you and to feel a little more freedom, to really, to stretch your legs, right? It's like horses were built to run. And if they don't run, they will get physically sick. And so it's like, it's time to stretch those legs, to whatever that is to you, that natural propensity, whatever running, like running to a horse is to you as blah, 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 whatever it is. That there's coming a time to really stretch your legs and to expand and to kind of leap all the fences, everything that's been boxing you in, keeping you in the stable or in the pasture. It's like, phew, it's time for you to break free. And part of that, you know, hand in hand with that is horse is about power. It's like personal power. You know, and cars are still, the engines are rated in terms of horsepower, right? Because they were our first engines. And a horse, I mean, you just look at a horse and there is power just eking off of them, right? But it's a self-sufficient power It's why horses tend to be so gentle, because they're powerful, yes, but they don't have to prove that power. They don't have to act in certain ways to prove how powerful they are. They just are. And that's how the equine therapies work. It's like, you know, you've got your heart, and your heart has an electromagnetic torus, is that how you say that word? Like an energetic donut around your heart, right? That goes out so far. Well, horse's heart is twice the size of ours, and their energy field goes out twice as far. So being with horse actually just tends to be calming, because it's that entrainment thing where if you're the highest vibration in a room, everyone else's vibration is going to rise at least a little bit to meet yours. And so stepping into this energy field of horse, your energy field is automatically going to rise. And so people who have disabilities, or people who have like PTSD or different things like that, by being around horses, it heals their energy field. It brings their energy field back to where it's supposed to be, ideally. And not that I'm an expert or anything like that, but that's kind of the idea. And part of it is also, I did go to a class one time on it, and one of the things was, like, you go into the pen with the horse, and it's amazing. As long as you're centered and focused on the moment, and you're focused on the horse and interacting with the horse is there, fully present. But as soon as you start to worry or your mind wanders, the horse is like, whatever, and wanders off. And so it's a great way of learning that focus as well, that alignment, because the horse can tell. And if you're not fully present, they're like, well, you know, catch on the flip-flop, whatever. And so this is a time of really being present with your power, acknowledging that power, and allowing it to kind of push back some of the limitations, push back those borders that have existed for a while, and actually start to explore strange new worlds, right? Because when it's like Joseph Campbell said, when you follow your bliss, where there were only walls, doors will open. And so this is about supporting your passions, supporting your desires. And when you move in the direction of that bliss, those passions, spirit carries you. You don't have to, like just what I was saying with salmon earlier, you don't have to get there on your own energy. Spirit will carry you. It's that same enthusiasm when you're excited, when you're passionate about something. Those things that you lose yourself in, right? That's spirit carrying you. And that's how things expand, just by doing, step by step, following your bliss, doors will open. So I am like really excited for you. I think that's really awesome. Getting to really, oh, that's interesting. Okay. What just came to me, not only is it about that, your power, but it's how you relate to the physical world, right? I'm thinking of a horse running. A horse wouldn't get anywhere if it wasn't for the ground, right? So it's like that relationship as you're stretching your legs, as you're doing what you love, noticing the interplay with the physical world to see how the world, like you might run faster on, solid ground rather than in sand or whatever, put, insert metaphor here for whatever the ground is, but like pay attention to your relationship with this world. It's like, I heard someplace, someone came up with the theory that horses actually originated on another planet because when they're running, it's like the equivalent to us skipping. Like they're never able to get to their full potential. Like they were from another planet where there was less gravity or more gravity. I can't remember how the theory goes, but it's interesting. It's like, so this relationship with the physical world and how it affects you, and knowing when it's time to rest for the night, and then when to go full bore. And when I say stretching your legs, it's like everything, like stretching your boundaries, stretching your borders, stretching into those areas of discomfort. And knowing you're not doing it alone. Horses are herd animals, right? They always seek the company of other horses. So know that. That's interesting. When you're owned by someone, you've got your stable, you have no choice as to which horses you're around. So it comes this kind of ragtag herd. But when you're free of that and you're out on your own, you're going to be attracted to, and others will be attracted to you, horses of the same ilk. Absolutely, Lily. That's a really great way of putting it. That your disabilities don't need to be healed for you to live your purpose. Exactly. 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 By George, I think she's got it. So I know things have been changing for you, and according to this, things are going to continue to change for you. So I am really excited to see where it takes you. All right. So that is all the yeses I got tonight. We only had 4 people. If there's anyone else that came in late that wants a card, there's still time to say yes in the comments before I call it an evening. And I feed my poor starving little Kit Kat. And she's sitting with her back to me. All right, well, okay, so if there's nobody else, we will call it at 4 cards tonight. You are so welcome, Lily. Oh, and I just remembered the point I was getting at with the horse, like, not being from here. It's kind of that same thing I said earlier about, being in the world but not of the world. That you have different rules from other people. I don't know how to say that. You are not of this world. Oh, hi, Valerie. Awesome. I got you down. We'll do one more. It kind of goes back to Dragonfly, what I was saying about Dragonfly, and knowing that you are so much more than your physical being, that there are higher rules that aren't actually rules, they're just guidelines that you, yes, it's the fairy thing, exactly. Exactly. You have access to magic and things that a lot of people don't. So use it. Yeah. Expect enchantment. Expect your world to be magical. And you will see it. All right. So we have a card number 5 for Valerie. All right. You are so welcome, Lily. All right. So Valerie, card number 5 is Fox in reverse. So again, it's like tonight's theme seems to be illusion. Fox is also a master of illusion. In any culture that Fox is a part of, they are known for casting illusions, foxfire, glamour, appearing as one thing when there's something else, or appearing someplace else when they're actually here, or like disappearing while you're looking at them, those kind of things. And so Fox learns, it's like Fox has a really good invisibility cloak of invisibility. He can stand right next to you and you would never know he's there. And so Fox's medicine is about learning through observation, learning like seeing without being seen. And when Fox comes up in reverse, a lot of times it's because it's time to take that cloak of invisibility off and be seen, right? You've probably developed those skills like in school, etc. Like, the teacher's going to call on someone and you do like quickly like invisibility. And so they call on the person behind you instead of you or whatever, or walking into a room and being wallflower, right? That is still a valuable tool. You're not giving up that whole tool. It's just that you have that as the fallback. So it is safe. It is safe for you to be seen. It is safe for you to be heard. And if someone doesn't like it, it's like, shoot, back on with the cloak of invisibility and disappear. But I think it's like time to trust the things that you've learned. It might even be time for you to start to teach. I don't know if that's on your radar, but it's time to trust what you have learned and to actually give voice to it, to express it, rather than, it's kind of like that saying about, a ship is safest in the harbor, but a ship wasn't built to just sit in the harbor. And it's like with the cloak of invisibility, you can be safe and you can learn all kinds of stuff, but it becomes impractical in the way that it's not being utilized. And so it's like it's time to apply the things that you've been learning. Does that make sense? It's time to start trusting the things that you've been learning and living, again, like I said earlier with Brittany, as if they were true, right? I remember, what was the book? When I first started exploring metaphysical stuff, there was a book I read, I think it was called Living in the Light by Shakti Gawain. And to me at the time, there were all these revolutionary ideas in there about manifestation and all this stuff. And I kept reading the book, and I loved this book, and I kept reading it and reading it. And then I realized, this isn't doing any good if I'm not applying these things that I'm learning. Right now, it's just up here. And it might make my heart feel better at the possibilities, but I'm not engaging. I'm not living the life I could be living if I knew these things were true. Does that make sense? And it's safe to be seen. I said that already, but it's like you still have that cloak of invisibility. You still have the cunning to be able to disappear in front of someone's eyes, right? And so I encourage you to just, step by step, just step a little bit into that discomfort. Maybe speak up when someone says something, or ask a question and you know an answer because of what you've been learning, to actually speak that up. Another thing, because Fox people make really good teachers. In these cards, Wolf is the teacher, according to this deck, but Fox is very closely related. And Fox people make good teachers because they have that, they can spin tales, they can spin illusions, right? They're the visionaries. Like, again, going back to Star Trek, like Gene Roddenberry being able to give us what a world at peace looked like. Back in the 60s, when the world was falling apart, he was able to show us what it looks like, how it acts, how it feels. And that's the power of Fox, being able to point out, like, but what if this, and bringing that little red cat dogs. I was going to say that next. I was going to bring up the fact that Fox has cat eyes. The only canine that has cat eyes. And so just like cats are renowned for being able to see other beings in other dimensions, that's one of your skills as well. And so to be able to validate, not validate it to other people, not get validation from other people that it's true, but to validate it within yourself and to continue to act as though it's true. That's really interesting. Those are the words that keep coming up over and over. Excuse me. Pardon me. And so the thing with Fox, as a teacher, I should have some water here. So Fox can spin this tail, say, look at that, and then when the person looks, that's when Fox puts on that invisibility and disappears, so that this person has no choice but to accept that vision as their own, to take credit for being able to see something of of possibilities and probabilities without, because our tendency, when someone points something out, our tendency is to clamp on to, oh, really? Scientists think that fox and cats evolved from a common ancestor. I did not know that. Thank you. I'm going to have to look that up. That is really interesting. Thank you for that. Ooh. Now you got my curiosity going. I'm going to want to go look that up as soon as we're done here. But, Bruce Lee talked about don't mistake the moon for the finger pointing at the moon, right? And when you're a visionary or a healer or a reader or whatever, light worker, we tend to clamp onto the personality, clamp onto the person rather than the message. And so that's a way of, hey, look, right? And get them looking in the right direction, and then you disappear so that they have that personal discovery on their own. So trust your vision. That does not surprise me that cats aren't from here, that their DNA is unique. I know octopus, I just saw a video of someone was saying that octopus is a Greek word, and so the what was it, the real plural of it would be octopedes. But anyway, I know octopi are from someplace else. I actually saw it on a scientific show that they think that somehow the octopus DNA was transferred to Earth on an asteroid or meteor or something. But anyway, that is so fascinating. I love that kind of thing. I hope that makes sense, Valerie. Trust yourself. You do know things. You do see things. You do feel things. And, it might be the same things that other people know or do or say, but you have a unique place. You have a unique expression of how you present those things. And that's the voice that is needed in the world. I just watched a video with, what's his name? Silent Bob. Oh my God, I can't remember his name. But anyway, he was talking about when he did that movie Clerks, and like he didn't have the big budget. He couldn't do Star Wars. He couldn't do anything like that. But the only world he knew was like working in a convenience store and things that went on in there. And so he made a movie of that. That was his voice. That was his story. And it went bonkers, right? It was like crazy popular. And so he was talking about Kevin Smith. Thank you. Yes. Kevin Smith, thank you for that. And he said that the thing he encourages people is to just tell their story, find their voice, because it's unique. There is no one on the planet that has the same story or the same voice that you do. And we need all of them. So don't hold back. Don't deprive the world of your voice just because of shyness or feeling unworthy. Again, you are meant to be seen. So, all right. If that is anyone else, that was number 5. So if there's anyone else that came in late that want a quick 1-card reading, we can still accommodate that. Otherwise, I will do the 1 card, the community card. See which animal is going to accompany us this week as a group, as a collective. And while I'm shuffling, just to remind you to, again, please share my video. I'm trying to expand my voice and my audience, so that would help me a lot. And if you feel like you would want to support your friendly neighborhood shaman in a different way, if you got something good out of today, or you just want to support me so that I can support you, I have my Venmo and PayPal pinned to the top of the comments. And anything you give is so deeply appreciated. This is my day job. So you've been shy your whole life, Valerie. Yeah, I had a feeling. And it doesn't mean you have to become an extrovert overnight. It's just even just peek out of the cloak every once in a while. You matter, and you deserve to be seen, and you deserve the recognition that people will give you. So I know I grew up very shy as well, and look at me now, ha ha. Anyway, I'm still kind of shy when it comes to certain situations, but you don't have to be. All right. So, and when we are done here, I am going to share this video to my Facebook page. And I am also going to upload it to my YouTube channel, Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel. So please check that out. Please subscribe and like my videos. That helps the algorithm, help other people to find me. Oh, that's awesome. That is really true, Lily. About Fox, they can purr, they can laugh, they screech. You get to choose which voice you want to let others hear. That is so true. Awesome. Alrighty, so I'm going to pull one more card for the community. I think I said everything I needed to say. Haha. All right, so our community card, the animal that's accompanying us as a collective this week is snake. So it might be an uncomfortable week. I don't want to program, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be, but there might be old stuff, might be exfoliating, kind of getting rid of old skin, old truths, old thoughts and beliefs, so that the shiny new you can shine forth. And it's also, I know we're just having is the new moon today or yesterday? That new moon energy of rebirth. This is an ideal time to, how do I put this again? One of snake's medicines, literally, is to take venom and transmute it into medicine. And so this is a great time to kind of, you just do it. Don't have to examine your entire life, but just like the past year or so, and like find all the little places where you regret or you feel shamed or you're embarrassed or whatever that is, and to what I do this meditation. I'll probably do it at the beginning of the year again on video someplace, but like just picture yourself standing on a hill where you can see the whole pathway from the past year. And on that path, you can see the dips in the road where you fell, where you felt ashamed, or you got the snake bites, right? And being up there above them, and then to breathe into your heart and send these bubbles, these iridescent bubbles out of your heart and along that path, and allow those bubbles to just kind of suck up any of the leftover emotions or feelings of shame or regret or whatever, to take that out of there so that that road is smooth again. And by forgiving yourself of those things, those seemingly negative things become positive things. It becomes the solid ground. The experiences become wisdom. So it becomes the solid ground you stand on to reach forward, right? Yes, Lily, thank you. We need to start doing some videos together or something, because you keep putting things in much more succinct language than I do. I'd like blah, 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 blah. So anyway, so be kind to yourself this week. You're going through a lot of changes, and allow yourself some calm, some retreat into the earth, retreat into the darkness, and let yourself rest, and forgive yourself anything that, that inner critic, whatever. Forgive yourself, because you have never done anything wrong. You're exactly the way you need to be right now, and nothing you have ever done has been wrong. It's been for the experience of it, right? It's been for the wisdom of it. It all had a purpose. And so be kind to yourself, nurture yourself, and allow that shiny new skin to shine. All right? Okay. Yeah, I should probably call it a night. I'm going to tell my brain is not totally present at the moment. But thank you so much for joining me. I hope you will come back next week, invite your friends. And again, please share this video, or you can tag people in the comments. And you see, you're blinding people with your tail. You blinded me with science. Yeah. So, thank you. This is always a highlight of my week. I so appreciate you. Thank you for the energy you give. Thank you for those who give more than just the energy. Heartfelt gratitude. And until I see you again, know that I love you, that I see you, and that I honor you. Have a wonderful week, everyone, and go shining!